Hello, welcome to the virtual picture. My name is Ashley. In this video I'm going to go through some more detail about the technology that we use here to create virtual tours, something that I hope you've already looked at on my website. First of all, we're going to kick off the camera that we use here, and this is it. It's a 4-lens camera that is specifically designed to do the job of taking 360-degree pictures. It's incredibly fast, and to prove that I'm going to do a live example here now. So I'm actually going to set the camera going. It's already set up for this room here, so I'm going to click on start now. It's a 5-second countdown delay. There's a succession of closer beeps whilst the camera does its thing and takes multiple pictures to create one 360-degree picture. Once the beeping has stopped, I will interrupt just to let you know. We can see obviously how long it did take. I'm going to try and keep as still as I possibly can throughout this process, because in my next video I'm actually going to show me looking at this picture itself, and what we don't want is me blurring. Back to the camera anyway. So the beeping, as like I say, with those 4 lenses taking multiple different pictures. And that's what you need to do, is take multiple pictures to create a 360-degree picture. It's not a video. When you're taking these multiple pictures, you also need to take into account the lighting conditions of the different areas of this room. You may have shadowy areas, you may have bright areas. Therefore, you've got to make sure that each part of that picture is perfectly exposed. And that's something called HDR, which stands for High Dynamic Range. It's been around in photography for years, and like I say, it's making sure usually just one single picture is perfectly exposed. When you're doing 360-degree photography, you've got to make sure that every single part of that picture is perfectly exposed. So like I say, for the outdoor bits and the indoor bits. Usually it's HDR3, so 3 different exposures, from underexposed to normal exposure to overexposure, and you layer them together to create the perfectly exposed picture. Before I go into that into a little bit more detail, the camera has stopped beeping, which I do hope you heard on my microphone there. So you see how quickly it is to take one 360-degree picture. That does mean I can move the tripod onto its next location and carry on with my shoot. Back to HDR. So like I say, traditionally it's HDR3. We do up to HDR9, so 9 different exposures for this camera itself. So therefore we're making sure that every single 360-degree picture that we produce is optimally exposed. And to give you the best example for HDR and explain it in a bit more detail, live example, you could either pick up your smartphone and then point it around a room in automatic mode with an outdoor shot as well, and you'll see the colours and how they change in the camera itself. Or I can show you on this video here itself. So what you'll see is in the room here at the moment, which is perfectly exposed, and if I pan to the right here, what you'll see is windows here, and you'll hopefully see the colour then changing. So the outdoors is now focusing through the windows itself, and they're becoming nicely exposed, but the surrounding room will be rather dull and underexposed. And if I move the camera back around to where we were before, hopefully you'll see the dull room will now change to a brighter colour, so it will be correctly exposed again. And that basically is HDR, making sure that every part of a picture is correctly exposed, and that's what this camera does. As you saw how quick this camera was, it took probably about a minute to take that photo, and that's about on average how long it does take. So when we're doing a shoot, we can actually take multiple different 360-degree pictures that are needed to then create a virtual tour. We're not limiting you on the number of pictures that may be required to create a virtual tour. So as an example, if we're doing a shoot of a 6,000 square foot open plan office, which would need say around 28, 30, 35 or so 360-degree pictures, we don't limit you to the number of pictures. We will turn up and then we'll take the number of pictures that are required for that particular shoot itself. And we'd need to be on site for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Then after that, we then edit those pictures together to create a virtual tour for you. Hopefully you found this interesting. In my next video, I'm just going to go through the picture that I've actually taken live here, and we'll see the results from that. If you can join me for that, fantastic. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time.